Okay, hello, welcome to Impact Insights. My name is Dale Jennels, I'm Managing Director, and today I have Adrian Moloney, who is Group Sales Director of OneSavings Bank. Hello, Adrian.
Hi, good morning, Dale. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. And you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
We're in week 10 of lockdown. How's it all been for you? What's been your big challenges over the last few weeks?
Well, I guess, challenges are probably like most people when you're working remotely and you've got 3 kids, is trying to find a quiet room in the house to do things like this. Certainly the amount of virtual interviews or webinars has increased. And finding that quiet moment without an 8-year-old running around disputing, doing his homework in the background has been challenging at times.
Absolutely. I think that's a general consensus across the board, I think. So are you missing sort of face-to-face contact? This is really, virtual, but are you missing the face-to-face contact? You're missing doing the amount of miles that you've been doing recently?
Yeah, probably not the miles, but seeing sort of familiar faces, people that we do a lot of business with, that we interact with, albeit sort of seeing a lot of people virtually. A lot of these type of meetings. But in some ways, I don't think anything beats that sort of face-to-face contact and the relationships that businesses have built up over the years.
Yeah, I think we've all adapted very, very quickly to the new unnormal. Your team's all working from home. Everything's been good, been pretty seamless.
Yeah, look, we as a sizable bank, we got 75% of our workforce working remotely, Dale, pretty quickly. The safety of my work colleagues or workforce was paramount to the business. Sure. So I was really impressed with the IT team because it's not an easy task. So we did that quickly, successfully. Then we rolled out to everyone having the ability to use these virtual technology to do these web type meetings. They've gone down really, really well. We've been really on the front foot, making sure we're engaged with brokers. Some by telephone, some prefer to do the video calls. Sure. But it's been a really good tool for the 10 weeks that we've been in, out of the normal environment.
Yeah, and we've had some really good ones from both Precise and Kegs. They've been really, really worthwhile for the team, especially as my team are working from home now as well. So everyone seeing your guys face to face is good. Do you think that's going to be the way we're going to move future? The training, the exercises are all going to be online? Because it's going to be a while before someone can come back into the office.
Yeah, I think short term, it certainly seems to be, filling the void. I do think, going forward, these sort of, this technology can be used smartly as well. So, we've got brokers that may be quite far away in the patch that might want to have a virtual meeting with a BDM or someone from the business, discuss something through. I think what we've certainly seen over recent weeks is that brokers quite like using this type of tech, even if it's to discuss a case, because you might have a complex deal you want to go through. And I think certainly, having that face-to-face, the visual option breaks down, some of the barriers that perhaps you'll be doing if you're just doing it over the phone. So I think you're probably going to find that all sales team, brokers and lenders alike, will use this technology to supplement the best of what they their sales force whilst we're still in the period we're in.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. I think technology is playing a massive part. What's next for what's next for the group as a whole?
What, in terms of technology?
Generally, dealing with brokers, online CRMs, etc.
Yeah, I think what you've seen, particularly with Precise and the OSB brands, Kent and Interbay, is that we've really been on the front foot with this, particularly over the last few weeks. Getting people to have some normal activity in terms of sales contact. You speak to Jamie Pritchard or Simon Cockrell; they have been doing 10 of these a day with some of our key broker contacts at senior level. At the back of that, the BDMs have been on the front foot with the brokers with this, so making sure they're aware of all the changes that are going on, because this period of the market is quite fast paced. You're seeing criteria change daily, new products out really rapidly. And I have to say, the group proposition team at OSB, they've been turning out products really quickly. We've had to obviously go through a period where we were using desktop technology on valuations, Dale, as you know, so that went from 60% to 70% LTV very quickly. Then, of course, we had the return of physical valves the other week. So, a whole new product set out to meet the needs of that. And it's pretty fast paced.
Sure. How have you been keeping up with all the changes? Because it's been pretty difficult for us as on the broker side. Yeah, everything's been changed. Some stuff has changed the night before. We haven't been told till the following day. We might get some changes at midday, and then we get some more at 5 o'clock. You know, it's been pretty full on for us to keep up with it. How have you managed?
I think we've been pretty clear. Our comms messages, I like to think have been good. I think you said you had 7 emails from the group one morning the other week. I said you can't have many emails, Dale, to let you know what's going on. But we've really encouraged the BDMs to pick up the phone or do these chats more, rather than just rely on people picking up communications via email, because there are a lot of questions around them. People are asking, can you do this? Can you do that? And actually, personal contact, I think, is pretty important to supplement what we're able to put out electronically at the moment.
Sure. The first 3 months of the year, the Buytolet side was incredibly busy. Obviously, it's curtailed massively at the moment. Do you think it's going to recover quite quickly?
Look, I think, 1 in 5 households in the UK live in the private rental sector. Buytolet has gone through a previous downturn in the last financial crisis and came out of it very well. I think there may be more people that will look to renting for a period of time. What you're not seeing is as many high LTV products out there, Dale, even in the prime side of the market. People's employment situations may have changed during this period. And actually, you might see people look at the private rental sector as a stopgap as they look and assess what's happening, I guess, in the wider UK housing market.
Okay. And do you think it's more UK based for landlords, or do you think there's a real opportunity for expats and foreign investors at the moment?
Yeah, look, I mean, all depends on what people's situations are. We tend to see, we have an expat offering, but we tend to see, the market is more UK based. I think our model lends itself to the more professional investors who tend to keep buying anyway. They'll look at opportunities during this period. If there are opportunities to be had. I mean, I think what we should all remember is that the cost of finance and the cost of rates at the moment, and actually the liquidity that's in the system is really good. This isn't like 2008, 2009, sure. As a bank, very much open for business and lending. And actually what's been really good during these period of weeks is that we've continued to process applications. We've still completed deals, got completions out the door to allow people to raise finance or purchase properties if that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, no, I think you've done it really well. However, there have been other lenders that may not have been so accommodating, and we've seen quite a few of our brokers who have maybe had an offer pulled, or the employment has been reassessed based on their self-employed roles. Has treating customers fairly sort of gone out the window during these hard times? What's your thoughts on that?
Look, I don't. This is I guess a period that no one knew was going to happen. It happened very quickly, Dale. Lenders have had to look at, I guess, what the wider consequences of what this pandemic will have to the market. I think, I can't speak for other businesses because I don't really know what they've done. I think we've worked really well to ensure that we've got business through where appropriate and a relevant criteria, I think, as we've launched phase 1 of our new product launch.
Okay, and you've done really well with the mortgage payment holidays as well. It took up a lot of your time in the early parts of the lockdown. Are you through that now? Are you worried about the possible payment extension, the proposed payment holiday extensions, etc.? Is that going to take up a lot more of your time?
No, I think we have a process in place now, and certainly there's a lead into the next phase of the payment holidays. I don't think they came as a massive shock to most people that were, or most lenders that were out there. And look, I think we've got 6 or 7 weeks before the next phase start. We've built a process in place for people to apply for those. So I think it's going to be a lot easier than the last time round, which was pretty short notice. You had to build a process, and it was done at a time when you were trying to get your workforce out, working remotely, working safely from home or remotely. So I think most lenders will be in a better position to deal with these than they were the first time round.
Sure. And that leads us on to how it affects credit scores and bits moving forward. Now, even Martin Lewis brought it up on his programme last week, that although it may not affect your credit score, ultimately, longer term, these are going to be a lot of computer-generated decisions moving forward, where it may not pick up that you were allowed 3 months payment holiday or whatever. You've only paid 9 mortgage payments. What's the bank's views on that?
Well, I don't think it's the bank's views, but I think what you will see more lenders doing is perhaps looking for more documentation to support decisions, whether that's bank statements, for example, as part of the process to see if people have made payment holidays, what their credit position or what their position within affordability was. I think, look, it's an interesting question. I think the beauty of the specialist lenders, because you referred to, I guess, the machines there making automated decisions, is that you can look at cases on an individual basis. That's the beauty of the manual underwriting processes that we have and that, you know, the specialist market brings. So I think you will see more, I guess, customers look at specialist lenders where they need to make a bigger picture or paint a bigger picture of what their circumstances were.
No, fair enough. Okay, we've seen a lot of use of AVMs and desktop valves and everything over the last few weeks. Will this be an ongoing brought-in function of our day-to-day mortgage scenarios?
Look, I think desktops very much served a purpose for us over a short period of time. We've gone back to physical valuations because it allows us to look at a much broader type of property, Dale. So, you know, some of the restrictions that the desktop technology, I guess, brings, where it's very much suited to the prime mortgage market, doesn't often suit with what a specialist lender would need to look at. You know, obviously physical vals allowed us to look at some more of the new build type properties, and also look at the multi-unit blocks. So those type of properties were really things that we couldn't look at, but as a specialist lender, you know, it's part of our daily lending.
Sure. And does that mean that we're not too far away from seeing bridging finance again from Precise and INTERBay?
Well, I think obviously we've got an offering out there with Precise at the moment, and we've been very clear in our communications that we will be launching new products in phases. The key was getting all of our product arms open and make sure an offering for everyone there, because, you know, we want to support our brokers. But what we've started to do is move back into or extending, if you like, product ranges in our core markets, the residential ranges and the Buytolet ranges through all three of the brands in terms of Buytolet, but also being able to offer things like Help to Buy and an extended residential range in residential, plus looking at multi-unit blocks in the Buytolet range as well.
Really, what would be your main tips to brokers now? Sort of what 3 things would you give them advice on to look for currently in these challenging times?
Yeah, look, I think there's a good opportunity to speak to your BDMs, speak to people like yourself, Dale, specialist distributors who perhaps have access to products that aren't there for everyone in the market. Communication is going to be key. So, you know, watch out what you're seeing from lenders in terms of whether it's written communication. If the BDM rings you, you know, take the opportunity to speak to them, because as we discussed earlier, you know, criteria, rates, products are moving at quite a fast pace at the moment.
Absolutely. And how do you see the second half? We're just going into the second half of the year. How do you see it panning out for us all?
If I had a crystal ball that was that good, Dale, I probably wouldn't be the job that I'm doing at the moment. But look, I think what I've seen over recent weeks is some very positive green shoots. I think there are a lot of inquiries out there. I think we're in the early stages. I think the physical valuations coming back is definitely a big plus for the market. But I think, you know, the good bit for this is that you've got lenders that are looking to lend. That's a real positive.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And like you said, little green shoots, every day at the moment, we're seeing something new coming back. More lighter note, when will Liverpool be given the Premier League title?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we waited a long time for that, didn't we, Dale? But I guess it's kind of secondary at the moment, but hopefully we won't have to wait too much longer.
And in your lockdown period, have you had a box set of choice to watch?
A box set of choice. Yeah, there's been a few actually, and a few reruns of old series. I managed to sit down and rewatch the entire first 2 series of Arvida Zane Pet, and just to bring back my youth. And more recently, I watched something on Netflix called White Lines, which I thought was really good.
Okay, cool. That's fair enough. I think I got into Gangs of London, which was pretty awesome.
That's next on the agenda.
Not one to have with the kids around, let's put it that way. But As always, a pleasure. Really appreciate your time, Adrian. Thanks for that. And thank you for watching. We'll do some more of these. Keep an eye out and stay safe.